Hello, everybody. This is not live. Um, so we can have some fun with it and it will be live um sometime later today. So we're going to talk about my website. And first off, thank you everybody for viewing it on YouTube. I am going to try to do a live video. So if anybody knows OSB Studios, reach out to me and help me because I can do live YouTube, show my website, and have more fun with it. But I've done a lot of changes to my website. Um, I've been using Chat GPT, so I think things are a little edgier and funnier than my writing style. I spent too long writing documentation, so unfortunately, I'm not as good. But the prepper section is 99% complete, so let's take a look at it. And I moved stuff around, and we're going to have some changes to make it easier to view. So there will be, actually, there are four categories. One is your food options from cooking to storing. Other is the next one is tools you'll need. And what are the options if you lose water and electric and gas? What are your options? And then the last is kind of just a catch-all. But I left in the section that talks about how I got on this kick. But it looks really good. We focus on 20 foods, the Amish stockpile, 7 shelf-stable meals for your prep pantry, forgotten farmhouse recipes, very good. 20 must-have foods to stockpile. Oh, there's the gardening section's missing. So, I don't know what happened to the gardening section. It's still out here, but I have to add it back in. 17 things for every prepper to buy. And take a look at that one because it gave me some really good ideas. Dollar Tree fuels that cook, heat, and light. 5 worst storage mistakes. And then why store borax? Pick up Mylar bags. Then what options do you have if you lose water and electricity? This one is very good. The first one, it gives a lot of good ideas, especially about water. And um, I live in a warm climate. And I know we're facing climate change, but you need heaters. So this is a very good one on what to do for a heater. Then the hobo heater is a great one. It's really easy to make. This gives you ideas on how to keep food if there's a blackout. And the best thing, keep ice packs in your freezer. And something we all need, how to turn a home toilet into an emergency porta potty. And this is the stuff I haven't moved. So it's still out here, but my gardening section disappeared. Oh dear. Cheap ways to do it. Some of the gardening stuff is out here. Plant once, eat forever. Good things. Um, so a lot of this one is somebody surviving a war without electric. So and it gives their food supplies. So where I could get lists, I did. Walnuts, and I showed everybody my cow eating acorns. I don't have a lot of acorns, so but I'm disappointed. I don't know what happened to my gardening stuff. And I still need to clean up my Civil War stuff. Some things about items to buy. Powdered foods. Um, Good idea. So that's what's out there now. There's also some things about drying for foods, preserving foods with salt. So make sure you have a lot of salt if you plan on prepping. Sweet preserves, and, subscribe today. But more important, subscribe on YouTube. I'm keeping this free for now, but subscribe on YouTube. That would go a long way. And if when I hit 500 subscribers, there's things I can do that I can't do now. Um, this one is actually a good article about how it's gotten to be a more cross-section of society. So very good stuff. But my gardening stuff disappeared, so I have to get that out there. There's some still out there. But and this one's been updated, so it's got the funny stories on it, some great pictures, some great songs. I'm still working on the World War III Civil War section, so let's explore that some other time. And this I cleaned up pretty well today. So I do have to put some of the sounds out there in videos. So but it's now got a couple of sections. So you have the voices of resistance, musicians, comedians, the front line of free speech, actors taking stage in the stand, and artists fighting back through creativity. Don't have a lot on artists, so if anybody has any great artists that have recently taken a stand, let me know. I know there's the one that the lady that did the Obama painting that refused to go to the Smithsonian for being featured because they didn't want some of her artwork. And then the whole section on authors and banned books. So that's a great one. And then the other stuff. So take a look at it, enjoy. I still have to add the music back in, but the pictures are out there. There's some history to it, so I've cleaned it up quite nicely, I think. So again, this is a work in progress. It's just me. Oh dear, typo. It's amazing what I can find. So I got to put Neil Young and Bruce out there, but that's good. And then we still have my topics for all. So we have activism, culture, community, and retirees. I'm keeping the events up to date, so anybody that's local or would like to attend something virtually, it's out there. My podcasts are updated. My story, for those of you who don't know it, is there. And I changed up the news section. So we've got still the top one is starvation in Gaza. The Ukraine is updated, but not as often as I should be. And again, I'm looking for anybody who's from the Ukraine that's in the United States that could participate in a live Zoom call. That would be great. Um, Trump's shit down explained. So it's a typo, but I'm leaving it because it really um, does epitomize what he's doing. Ice in their evilness. I'm gonna go to this section. Um, Yesterday in Chicago, um, there was a lot of stuff that happened. But if you guys have not seen it, go to the Don Lemon one, and I'll show you a little bit of it.
Okay, told that we are live right now, so thanks for joining us here on all of our platforms, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever we are. And so we're glad that you're here. Thank you so much. So thanks for tuning in. I don't know if you guys have seen it. If you weren't on Twitch, the folks who are on, look out, Mike, the folks who are on twitch.tv/Don Lemon got an exclusive that we did after we did our main show earlier. We did an IRL, and there was some skirmishes. You can see it on our social media soon. You probably saw some of the pictures, but it is unbelievable. We're back over here. Well, I guess you've realized if you've seen social media, I'm not sure if you have, we just did an interview with the former Vice President of the United States.
I'm going to advance it a little bit.
Healthy to work that gets all the
He
money.
spends a long time talking to a Trump supporter, and the ignorance is incredible. They have no idea what actually is going on.
Thumbs up if you're watching us on Twitch. Make sure you hit the whatever button that's we're new to Twitch. Whatever button that you're supposed to hit, become a member or subscribe to our channel. I think it's really important if you're following us on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, or whatever, smash the screen.
You know, even Don Lemon needs subscribers. I really do, because I think we're telling a great story, and I really want more people to hear it. But
This is what you
go to YouTube, like,
doing.
subscribe, comment.
Think about it. If you check
check out
socials,
my
what happened earlier. If you're
gear.
what
It's
happened to be on
really
Twitch, we were
cool
doing
and
this with
fun
Twitch
and
meetings.
good,
What
and
happened in real time?
to get it out quickly.
What you think about?
And
Let me know
I
what
do
you think
make
about it.
money off of that, and every bit. This is nonprofit, and I'd love to have some help doing it. So,
Wow, no
um,
justice, no peace. So there you
I-
go.
I'd like to make it bigger and do more of these, but there's only one of me, and just keeping up with the website is difficult.
Yeah. We're handling some business, right?
They're giving money to what money?
Yeah.
Show me a line item.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about what's happening in that instance.
Yeah.
But to just say, oh, it's just in again a blanket statement that's being used to brainwash people and get them to again dehumanize what's going on. There's water here for you.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I know because you saw I was.
Yeah, no, I
so
get
much.
it. And I
So,
mean, we've been out here
I
plenty of
think it's
times, and it's
good.
easy to
Watch
get.
it. I'm not going to play the whole thing. Um, Another thing I want to show you is one of the sections is I redid this section and it gives the latest news on Trump. Um, and it talks about what he's doing, and he's seeking retribution. There's a whole section on that. Failing to protect our freedom of speech in the Constitution, a section on that. Using the army against the governors, hiding his help from the public. You know, Biden let us know what was going on. Trump, he claims to be like 180 or whatever it is, and we know the man weighs close to 300 and is not a well man. Plus, you know, I think he has dementia, but my own opinion, I'm not a doctor. Locking people up without due process, American citizens as well as immigrants, attacking other countries. And you're getting to see my proofing this too, so thank you. His desire for the Nobel Peace Prize over and done with. The opposition leader in Venezuela got it. And then forcing us to accept Chris, Christian nationalism. And I'm going to go to that section because there is a good video. Yeah, I think everybody knows I am not a religious person, by any means. There's that section to comment and subscribe. Go, please. But they did a great video on Pope Leo, and I'm really getting to like our new Pope. He definitely has views I don't believe in. He won't, he does not support gay marriages. He does not support um, pro-choice unless it's a woman's health. Um, but, and he doesn't want women priests or married priests. Um, but there's a lot of things I do support. And one of the things that's important to me is his desire to equalize humanity and how he respects migrants and the indigent, and he wants them to have a good life. So let's just take a look at that.
Pope Leo just sent shockwaves through the American Catholic Church and to American politics by dropping a bombshell on the Republican Party. In no uncertain terms, the Pope let the world and the Republican Party know that it is officially game over. I'm going to show video of Leo making his boldest statement yet on the relationship between the American church and politics. But first, let's talk about the game that Catholic cardinals have been playing with the Republican Party since Reagan. It's the game where Brian Kilmeade can go on the air at Fox and state this about the homeless.
Inside, that you got to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
And yet no one from the Catholic Church hierarchy says anything about it. Worse, the Cardinal of New York goes on Fox only a week later pretending that it didn't happen so that he can audition for future jobs by fawning all over Charlie Kirk.
The more I learned about him, I thought, this guy's a modern day St. Paul.
It's the game where the American Catholic bishops not so subtly endorse the Republican Party and Republican politicians because they claim to be pro-life, and they denounce Democratic candidates no matter what their personal beliefs are because the party is pro-choice. Of course, the Republicans are anything but pro-life. They support the death penalty. They are anti-immigration, including asylum seekers. They are pro-guns, anti-gun control, anti-universal health care, and anti-education. But they get to pretend they are pro-life because they are anti-abortion. And the Catholic bishops have helped them with this pretense for decades. They go around denying communion to Democratic politicians who vote to fund Planned Parenthood and access to abortion by poor women. They implicitly, and sometimes not so implicitly, endorse Republican politicians, all the while saying they are apolitical. And yet an employee of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops was fired in 2004 for supporting the candidacy of John Kerry. So now, the Cardinal Archbishop of Chicago, Blaise Cupich, is bestowing a Lifetime Achievement Award on Democratic Senator Dick Durbin for his work surrounding immigration policy and for supporting immigrants. And of course, a chorus of conservative bishops, including the nearby Bishop of Springfield, decided to denounce the Cardinal's decision. And why? Because Durbin is pro-choice politically. In fact, the number of bishops banding together to complain from the sidelines is now 10. So, small, but trying to use a megaphone nonetheless. Well, Pope Leo made clear today that the absolutism of the church's right wing is not the official position of the church. As he was leaving Castel Gandolfo, the Pope was pressed by a reporter from the reactionary cable channel EWTN, who tried pushing the absolutist agenda of the right wing onto Leo. Here is what Leo had to say.
Thank you for speaking with us. I just wanted to ask one thing that has become a bit of a divisive subject in the US right now, with Cardinal Cupich giving an award to Senator Durbin. Some people of faith are having a hard time with understanding this because he is he's for legalized abortion. How would you help people of faith right now decipher that, feel about that, and how do you feel about that?
I'm not terribly familiar with the particular case. I think that it's very important to look at the overall work that a senator has done during, if I'm not mistaken, 40 years of service in the United States Senate. I understand the difficulty and the tensions, but I think as I myself have spoken in the past, it's important to look at many issues that are related to what is the teaching of the church. Someone who says I'm against abortion but says I'm in favor of the death penalty is not really pro-life. So someone who says that I'm against abortion but I'm in agreement with the inhuman treatment of immigrants who are in the United States, I don't know if that's pro-life. So they're very complex issues. I don't know if anyone has all the truth on them, but I would ask first and foremost that there be greater respect for one another and that we search together both as human beings, in that case as American citizens or citizens of the state of Illinois, as well as Catholics, to say we need to, really look closely at all of these ethical issues and find the way forward as church.
Well, I thought that was well stated, and very good. One more I do want to play, but before I do that, well, at the end, I'll do that.
You are in your own distinctive way, very online and speaking some of the language of that world. I
This
just
guy
wrote down
is
a
creepy,
few:
not
lumberjack dykes,
host.
small-breasted biddies, gay-tard.
Yes. Do you want me to defend it?
Evangelical pastor Douglas Wilson doesn't seem to mind if you call him a theocrat.
I like to see the nation be a Christian nation. I like to see the world be a Christian world.
He wants a society that acknowledges Jesus' authority over politics.
Marriage and the family were created by God, by the Supreme Being, not by the Supreme Court.
And patriarchal authority in the home.
Wives look up to their husbands as the church does to Christ.
Is he just being hyped by his critics?
Not something I'd ever do.
Wilson and his church admitted that one of their goals is to infiltrate the Trump administration because they want Christian dominion of the world.
I see it as a dominionist cult.
Or does American Christianity's future really lie with a recovery of its zealous Puritan past?
Don't play with fire, but burn whatever bridges you need to burn.
Doug Wilson, welcome to Interesting Times.
Thanks for having me.
So we're going to try and talk about some pretty meaty things.
Okay.
Obviously, your vision for America as a Christian nation. But I wanted to start with a conversation about some of your theological beliefs.
Okay.
Because I thought it would be helpful to ground the audience.
Frame the whole thing.
Frame the conversation for when we turn to politics. And also, I'm just interested.
Okay.
So let's start off with a pretty basic question.
All right.
We are both Christians.
Right.
I'm a Roman Catholic. You are a evangelical Protestant, but specifically a Reformed evangelical.
Right.
Presbyterian, Calvinist.
Yeah.
Calvinist.
All that,
right? So our traditions have had some pretty sharp differences
Yes.
in the past, like wars of religion.
Right.
That's
happened.
That's happened. And, the people involved in those conflicts thought that there were really serious eternal stakes involved, right? That, respectively, Catholics and Protestants were leading people into serious error, putting people at risk of damnation.
Right.
So, simple question: do you think I'm going to hell?
That's not my job.
I know. It's not your job to know. That's
Right.
true.
So let me put the.
We're going to advance a little bit and watch just a few more minutes.
Tell you how I envision this, but I do it remembering our discussion starting with depravity, where I believe that people who think they're doing the will of God need to check themselves, and ideologues who build utopias are a great manufacturer of hellholes. I don't want that. I want us to. Right. There was no law. If you go back to 1945, America,
there was no law then against building,
and it was unthinkable then.
Well,
right. So that's my point. There are a number of things.
I think if you look at 19th century American history, honestly, while there were not large numbers of Hindus, I think a lot of very strange religious experiments were quite thinkable, and that America has always had a certain kind of room for whatever the equivalent of building.
Yeah, America's always had room for religious weirdos.
Yes,
and the 19th century
present company, and I include myself in this, very much included.
19th century America was a monkey house of communes and different things. That's all true, but the 90-foot statue, those sorts of things, are taunts. It's not. here's our free, we're just trying to worship in our own quiet little way, is sort of, I wonder how far we can push this before somebody says something.
Okay, so there's a note taunting the Christian majority.
Right.
Soft policy.
Well,
Let's talk about women.
You got it.
Yes.
I've been pressing you on what would be forbidden, both on a shorter timeline and in the 500-year path to the Calvinist Republic. Let's talk about what would be permitted. Your theology takes it takes a straightforwardly patriarchal view of the family, of male headship. This is obviously drawing on some fairly explicit things in the New Testament. You're not pulling it out of the ether. But there is a set of questions about what that implies for women's participation in society. And you mentioned earlier a CNN interview you did, which asked about women voting.
Right.
And you said ideally in families, households would cast a vote, and the decider would be the husband, right? Single women would, if they were heads of household, would have a right to vote, right? So what else would be permitted to husbands in their exercise of patriarchal authority? They would have the right to control and dispose of property, of their wives' property.
I would say, actually, no. I appreciate and would defend the old Christian practice of endowing the wife in a biblical.
And the husband, in spite of being head of the household, would not have access to that money.
That was hers. So basically, I believe that it would be wise and prudent for us to have a system of endowment for the wife that would mean that if a husband just thought he found someone cuter, he would take a serious financial hit.
What about discipline in the household? Do you think that husbands as heads of household should be, again, permitted under the law to use forms of physical coercion?
Absolutely. Of the wife?
Of the wife.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
No. Call the cops.
No physical coercion.
Well, at least he said that. So, that's kind of the changes I made. Please come and visit. Subscribe on the website. Eventually, I'm going to charge. But not right now. But also, check out my spreadshirt. Check it out. Buy something. Just go right here and shop. Shop now, please. Everything goes back into building this community. But maybe some food for me, so I don't have to borrow money from my kids. It really does help. So help. And the last thing, hold on, let me stop sharing. Real quick. I do want to show you guys. I am practicing what I preach. So I have, go to my website and see what you can grow in the fall and plant. So I've got parsley and lettuce and spinach, good fall vegetable. Couple things of leeks and more. So check it out. I'm gonna plant some garlic and things like that. But please, I am gonna do a live one as soon as I get OSB Studios figured out. So please, if you know it, call me, text me, email me. I don't even know how to close the open windows I have. So it's not as intuitive, but it's free. So thank you everybody for participating. I really appreciate it. And have a great one. And again, watch, like, subscribe, comment, and buy some product. Thank you. Bye, everybody.